Welcome to Ancestral Wisdom, where the wisdom of the past guides our future. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about backyard chickens. Silky definitely wants to get in on this video. He likes being videotaped. Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit about what you can do, some tips for keeping backyard chickens that you might not have thought of, and especially a few things that you should not do if you have backyard chickens in the garden. Now we give chickens full reign of the entire property. So we have chicken wire keeping them on the property, and they get out sometimes anyway and find their way back. But they have basically free reign. They could do whatever they want, which means they can get into the garden and they can scratch around and they can make things look a little messier than they normally would have looked, which is fine. I don't mind. We get good eggs from them and they're fun to keep as pets. But what should you expect? Well, first, don't expect your garden to look pristine. You're going to make your garden beds. They're going to look really nice. The chickens are going to come in and they're going to make things look messier. If you don't think that that's something that you want to deal with, then backyard chickens who have access to your garden are not for you, and you should fence your garden well. Otherwise they'll get in. What else to consider? There are certain plants that you should fence or keep enclosed away from the chickens somehow. And we found this, our first year on the homestead, our first year with chickens, and our first year with these big gardens, we found brassicas, any brassica. We planted Chinese cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, turnips, kale. They decimated all of it. Absolutely all of it. As soon as it started growing, they pick them up. They basically eat the whole plant as it started to germinate. And I kept planting. I kept trying to get some stuff to come up, and whatever did come up, they completely decimated it. Here is Chinese cabbage, just all of the greens completely eaten. You have all those stalks of turnips over there. Where you see the parsley here, we had red cabbage and green cabbage, but they just decimated it so bad. We bought some parsley from the store because ours was running its course, and filled in instead. We have over here, we have evidence of them eating all of our kale, just all of the green off of the stalks. They would not let the Brussels sprouts grow. So any brassicas, apparently chickens love, which we did not know beforehand. Keep them enclosed. Next year, I'll make something out of chicken wire that will keep the chickens away from the gardens where we are growing our brassicas. I'll put all the brassicas in one spot, and I'll make sure the chickens don't have access to that. What fall vegetables do you not have to worry about? Well, apparently they don't like Swiss chard. I don't know why. Alright, now let's have a few tips of things that you can do that your backyard chickens might like that you might not have thought of yet. Watermelon flavored ants. We picked the watermelon the other day. We've been getting really good watermelon the last few weeks. But we picked one that wasn't ripe, and we put it out for the chickens. And here, check it out. It's crawling with ants. And the chickens just love it. They love the watermelon flesh itself, even if it's not sweet, even if it's not really ripe enough like this one, they absolutely love the seeds. And if we just leave it out like that and the ants come, they love eating the ants. So a great way to get your flock a little bit of extra, easy to find protein, vitamins, and calories. So ant flavored watermelon or watermelon flavored ants. Uh, if you're not picking unripe watermelon, just give them the rind when you're finished with the watermelon, when you're finished eating it yourself. Give them the rind and the seeds, and they'll actually eat the rind all the way down, all that white rind. They'll eat it all the way down to the green. So you have a paper thin layer of green, everything else eaten, including the seeds and all the ants that were attracted. Because ants will be attracted even by the watermelon rind itself. As you can see right over here, probably. Hopefully. All right, so that's all for today. Some advice about what to do to give your backyard chickens a little treat, and what not to do when allowing your chickens full free reign of the gardens. Also next year I'm probably going to, as I said, create some type of barrier using chicken wire when we create the basket gardens. But since I grow most of my plants from seed, I'm imagining I'm going to do that with all of my beds, at least until the seeds have germinated and the plants have established themselves, just so that the chickens aren't scratching up any of the newly germinated plants. Oh, one more important tip. If you're going to mulch, do not mulch a garden that you want to keep the chickens out of with fresh grass clippings. They are attracted to that. So if there were a couple of times in the season where I put fresh grass clippings, just a thin layer, maybe an inch or so, to help feed the soil, get some nitrogen in, and to act as a thin layer of mulch on top of the mulch that I already had down. And yeah, the chickens were attracted to that right away, and they dug up everything. They dug up the grass clippings, the compost under it, the layer of mulch under the compost, and the plants that I just planted. So, grass clippings are a chicken magnet. You've been warned. Now this is a era. You as Pethroegas, so ilotiwas, urcano evomanas, tagus invas degas,